Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 9 of Black Canvas Grappling. Now, of course, again, if you want to purchase or play TEW 2020, there is a link in the description down below where you can use my affiliate link to purchase TEW 2020 for yourself. So make sure you check that out. But apart from that, let's get into the episode. Now, we do only have one show left. As you can see, I'm still playing on the public beta. And, well, when this video goes out, we're still going to have about 8 days, I think, until the full release of the game. Of course, you know, the delay of 2 weeks until the full release from the original beta release. Very confusing, I know. But that extra 2 weeks has obviously sort of thrown my plans into a bit of... Well, it's made it into a bit of a cluster, to be honest. And as such, we're going to run out of episodes for BCG. The series is, of course, going to continue once the full release does come out. But this episode is going to be our final tour date for, well, at least until the full release of the game. Obviously, I think there's 5. We got our events down here. There's 6 tour dates. So we got number 3 up next. So let's just advance to that. But this episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter, hence we're only doing one show. But I do want to do a bit of either a creative meeting overview, or I want to just do a proper roster overview, and just, as you know, essentially see who our major stars are, who our stars are, you know, well known, recognizable. I just want to see who's there, and I also want to pose a question to you guys for you to answer in the comments down below, and that is, which one of our young lions do you see as being the best, the standout? Who do you think out of our, either the ones that started with BCG or the ones that we actually brought in, which one of those do you think has the brightest future, and maybe even the one that you would like me to push in the series going forward? Yeah, make sure you leave that down below. Anyway, let's again get into, unfortunately, this last tour date on the public beta. Again, we're going to do some more meddling here. We're going to go, I think we're going to go with Big Bruiser Finley and Seguru. There he is. No effect there, unfortunately. Anyway, let's start booking. Well, let's select generic venue first, because that needs to be done. Alright, so for the main event, I think we're going to go with a 6-man tag, and we're going to basically... Our sort of main storyline at the moment, I would say, is Import, sort of targeting Bunraku and Tori. And of course, we already have a match pre-booked in for Fighting Spirit between Big Bruiser Finley and Bunraku and Tori. So they're going to verse each other. And of course, we're going to have Giant Brody and Animal Harker alongside Finley. So it's going to be Import, and they're going to be taking on, I think, is TEW Toshasai. I think he's still injured, from what I can remember. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so he's still got broken ribs. He can still perform, but I don't think I want to put him in the main event, because I do want to, you know, I want to finish the public beta with a pretty good show here. So I think in that regard, let's actually go with Miura and Yoshizawa, and they can team up with Bunraku and Tori. And I think they can actually get the win here. So we'll have Tori, and he can pin Animal Harker, as I think that's a pretty good loser for the match, if I'm being honest. Okay, there we go. That looks pretty good, especially for a main event. And I think after the match, let's actually have an angle with Bunraku and Tori and Finley. And it can be sort of a... I want to say it's a war of words, but really it's more just Bunraku and Tori, you know, saying what he's going to do to Finley at Fighting Spirit. It is going to be a number 1 contenders match as well at the pay-per-view. So whoever wins out of these two will be challenging Funikoshi. Alright, let's book the rest of the show as well. Now, first of all, we want a technical masterclass, and I think we're going to go with James Diaz. Now, James Diaz kind of looks like the standout, the standout young lion to me, personally. And he's going to get a push in the future, but I don't think I want to make him the first to be pushed. He's only 18, so he's relatively young, and of course has quite a long career ahead of him. But we do have some of the other guys, like Asono, who's a little bit more older, or a little bit older, more older, doesn't really make sense. He's a little bit older. We've got another guy like Osaka, although he's only 18. I thought he was 20. Anyway, we've also got Takanori Doi, who's 21 as well. And then, where are some of our other guys? We have Agata and Kisaka, if I can find his name, up there at the top. Another two really impressive guys. I really do like Kisaka. And of course, these guys. Actually, let's do that. Let's finish off this episode with an interesting, another couple of stable members being added to Blaster Coma's stable. The Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi, of course, now the newly formed explosive stable. And they're going to take on both these guys. Are they fit? Oh, actually, I think Shadow's injured. Yeah, okay, never mind. In that case, let's go with... Yeah, Misakuri and Kinoshita can take on Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi. So there we go, explosive. And then I think we want to give Blaster Coma the victory there as well. And what's going to happen in this match, I want to have an outside interference onto, I guess, Mitsukuri, and it's going to be by Ginji Kisaka. There we go, newest member into explosive. And I guess the real question is, is his tag team partner going to be following him there? I mean, obviously, all bets considered, you would think so. Alright, so now let's book that technical masterclass. Kind of lean towards Furusawa, just because it's kind of Furusawa, so it does make sense. And I think, yeah, Okamasa, I mean, that's not a bad match. We'll give it 16, so it can be slow built. Actually, we might even give it 18. I'm not sure if that's going to be too long for Okamasa, but either way, it doesn't really matter too much. Can it be called? Yes, it can. And I think we'll give it 18. I'm a big fan of Furusawa, as you can probably tell, so the more matches he has in that sort of manner, the better, I think. We'll then do an 8-man tag. I mean, it is Japan after all. Let's have Kamisaka and Kiyotaka, and I want them to take on maybe Yokikawa and Sen. Oh, never mind. Can't do that. Sotomura and Izawa, that's fine. And then we'll chuck in a few young lions on each team as well. Let's go with Takanori Doi and I guess Asono. Actually, I want to put Asono on this team. And then I guess James Diaz can go on that team. And then finally, maybe Dreadnought. Yeah, Dreadnought can go on that team as well. Alright, that looks pretty good. And we're going to give Kamisaka the victory because I think he is the standout of this match. That one can go there. I think this match might be... We might be able to do steal the show. Okay, let's book one more, I think. Let's go with another... Let's go with a tag. Just a regular tag match. And we'll actually have two teams take on each other. So yeah, Team Taku can just take on Agata and Kisaka. Never mind. I've forgotten that we've had this many injuries. Now, of course, I did actually turn that down. I think we'll just do a 6-man instead. And we'll just chuck a few of the young lions in there with some of the more senior guys. So Urugataya, Funakoshi, and Suki. And they can just take on whoever's left, really. Osaka, Shuga Amano, and yeah, I guess let's go with, I think, Prowler Igarashi. I know it doesn't really make sense for him to be in the match, but I kind of just want him to gain a little bit more experience from the likes of Funakoshi. Gonna give Urugataya the pinfall victory there as well. Haven't really used him too much since we picked him up at the start of the series in the second episode, but I do really like him, and he's definitely going to be up the card. I might actually make this one the steal the show match instead. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a lot better. Alright, so we do need one more angle. And I guess it's going to be the explosive angle. Alright, so there we go. I think that works out perfectly. So both Ikoma and Narahashi on entertainment, and then we just have Kisaka in there not rated on anything. But he is going to be on screen. And I guess, in a way, even though he's not actually talking with anything, he will accept and shake the hand of Blast Ikoma. But that does need to occur after the match, so there we go. And who do we have left for a pre-show? Oh, we actually have Agata and Kisaka. I guess they can just take on the Cobras on the pre-show. I mean, putting the Cobras on the main show would probably make more sense, but anyway, doesn't matter too much. Yep, so that's pre-show. What's going on? What's wrong? Alright, so Animal Haka, Doi, Kisaka. Alright, so everyone in this match here, where is it? This one. Alright, that fixes a few problems. We then got Kisaka. I guess we can just lower this match. Maybe to like 9 minutes. 8 minutes? I mean, that's a really short pre-show match, but anyway. Alright, it fixed it. And then Animal Haka being overused. I don't think we're really going to solve this problem. We'll try and make this one 20, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're overusing him, so we may as well just take the full brunt of that penalty. Alright, well that looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. So let's run our final show of the beta. I'm looking forward to full release so much. You have to know that, guys. Anyway, we start off with a 55 for the pre-show match, where we have the American Cobras defeating Agata and Kisaka in 8:04 when Marvel Malloy pinned Yutaka Agata with a Cobra Strike. So as you can see, the American Cobras are really, really good. 63 for Storm, and a 64 there for Marvel. Unfortunately, Kisaka was off his game. But that doesn't really matter too much. It's only the pre-show. It's actually a really good pre-show match. We then start the show off with a 67 for our technical masterclass, where we have Furusawa defeating Shiroku Okimasa in 1753 by submission with the Furusawa armbar. 72 in-ring there for Furusawa. Moving on to a 44 for the 8-man tag, where we have Yuta Asono, Dreadnought, and Kamisaka and Kiyotaka defeating Takanori Doi, James Diaz, and Sotomura and Azawa in 10:32 when Kanemaru Kamisaka pinned James Diaz with a stump pile driver. And we had Doi off his game in this match. We then go into a 46 for the explosive match, stable match, where we have Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi defeating Mitsukuri and Kinoshita in 12:09 when Blaster Coma pinned Mitsukuri with a Northern Lights bomb. During the match, we also had Ginji Kisaka run in and attack Mitsukuri. So there we go. Possibly the new member, Ginji Kisaka. Moving into the angle, which gets a 43, and of course we have Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi offering their hand to Ginji Kisaka post-match. And of course, if you look closely, you can see Ginji Kisaka has these red sort of tights, or singlet tights, whatever you want to call them, which Blaster Coma also does wear a very similar type. So this sort of redness or red color is going to be, I guess, a pretty prominent example. Obviously, not every wrestler in Explosive is going to be wearing red, but it just kind of fits for Kisaka. So pretty happy with that so far. And of course, we have our newest member to the Explosive stable. We then go into a 53 where we have the main event team of Urugataya, Funakoshi, and Suki defeating Iki Hisaka, Shuga Amano, and Prowler Igarashi in 12:20 when Masashi Urugataya pinned Shuga Amano with a jumbo backdrop suplex. And yeah, Funakoshi head and shoulders above everybody else in the match, getting a 71. Suki not too far behind with a 62. So I'm pretty happy with that. And unfortunately, both Hisaka and Igarashi both off their games. Hisaka only getting a 24 in-ring performance. Yeah. We then move into the main event, which does pretty well, getting a 65, so I'm happy with that. And of course, we have Bunraku Tori and Miura and Yoshizawa defeating Import, consisting of Finley, Brody, and Haka in 22:05 when Bunraku Tori pinned Animal Haka with a spinning forearm smash. And as you'd expect in this match, well, Bunraku Tori was actually off his game, but he still carried the match and got a 70 in-ring performance for himself there as well, which I find pretty funny that he was actually off his game, but obviously still a lot better than everybody else in this match. And finally, the last angle of the show, getting a 54, where of course we have Bunraku Tori basically cutting a bit of a promo onto the menacing-looking Big Bruiser Finley, who is outside the ring by himself. The other two members of Import have walked up the ramp, and of course Finley's there, basically just looking really pissed off and angry that his team lost the match. And of course Tori says that he's going to become the #1 contender at Fighting Spirit. Yeah, I have to say that was a pretty good show, getting us a 60 overall. Unfortunately, does not increase our popularity in Kansai, but does increase it in the other 7 regions. Yeah, I think that was a pretty good show. A bit more storytelling, I think, in that one. Of course, the new member for Explosive, and of course, the sort of storyline we got going on between Tori and Finley. Check the emails here. Apparently, Mikami, who is our road agent, or one of our road agents, and he thinks Dreadnought is going to be a star, and the kid is worth pushing. So maybe in the comments down below you said Dreadnought was the guy that we should push. I think he's only 18 as well, But of course, he is a second-generation star, with his father being Dread. And then we also have a Blaster Coma opinion, and he thinks Koyo Kinoshita is going to be a star in his opinion as well. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good as well. Probably more of a tag team wrestler, at least for the foreseeable future. Who's this guy? He looks like he just got released from Sideshow. He's more of a high flyer, which doesn't really fit our style. I mean, he has a bit of technical, but apart from that, I don't really see too much upside to him. Yeah, I don't think we'd be signing a guy like him anyway. Oh, we also have the War to settle the score from TCW and a 98 main event. We have Aaron Andrews defeating Wolf Hawkins to retain the TCW World Heavyweight title. Also got J Cord defeating Sammy Back with an 88 match. Looks like a pretty good show. Hannah the Mighty defeating Mighty Mo, Freddie Huggins defeating Killer Shark. Yeah, I mean, it looks really good, to be honest. Strange they have no angles in the show. I know it's a pay-per-view, but still. I mean, the overall show rating for them getting an 87 with a 4.01 on the old pay-per-view buy rate, so good to see TCW doing well. Of course, I do have a soft spot in my heart for TCW as well. Probably will do a TCW series at some stage on TEW 2020 without getting too ahead of myself. Anyway, let's do a creative meeting. Obviously, franchise players, Bunraku Kantori, Funakoshi, as you'd expect. Kind of expected it to be the other way around. And I also actually kind of expect Reizan Okamoto to be in here as well. But I'm guessing because we haven't used him really since the start of the series, I'm assuming he's probably only a star, where I think these two are probably major stars. We can check that in a second as well. Now, this might help you out with your suggestion down below, but we have the next big things. Yuta Osono at number 1. Then got Misakuri at number 2. Then Kinoshita, so both tag team partners there. And then surprisingly under him, we have Yutaka Agata, who I didn't really expect to see in there. Of course, his tag team partner, we've got to add him into the stable. But he hasn't joined the Explosive stable as of yet. But I think you can expect it to come in the near future. Anyway, hot prospects. I mean, it's looking pretty similar. We got Osono. Yoshinaka Taku is in there, despite being 28 years old. But he's also really good. Just needs to improve his psychology. As you can see, everything else, like, he looks like a top star with everything else except for the 54 psychology. And as you can see, it hasn't actually improved. So I'm a little bit worried about that. And of course, he is currently injured as well, so that sucks, but I think he definitely has what it takes to be a main event player for us. Probably once his father retires, I think we'll move him out of the tag division. He will still wrestle single matches every now and then and have, you know, probably little, I would say little mini feuds, but he'll probably not be winning those types of feuds, if that makes sense. And just be like sort of a projection wrestler where he projects other people higher up the card until we do decide to push him properly. Mitsukuri then there as well. We then have Dreadnought, who I have to say looks pretty impressive. I mean, good star quality, good charisma. I mean, obviously he's got a lot to do in the ring. A lot to do. Which is sort of why I signed him, or one of the reasons why. I think we can get him up to scratch eventually. At this stage, doesn't really look like he's improved that much. He's gone up 1 point, I guess, in his basics. Nothing in psychology as of yet. I've got really good menace, 93 menace, which is really good. And I think he'll definitely be a star for us in the future, although I'm kind of a little bit worried that he'll probably get stolen away back to America at some stage. And then finally, Agata down there as well. Talk the talk, we got Suki Osono in at number 3. I mean, he is the self-proclaimed megastar, which you would have to agree with. I mean, his entertainment stats are really good. 61 microphone, 66 acting, 84 charisma. Yeah, he's good. We then have Furusawa, and then finally Okamoto to round out the 5. Showstoppers, pretty similar. You kind of expect it. Maybe Marvel Malloy you probably wouldn't expect to be in here. But I'm pretty happy that he is, to be honest, because it's kind of one of the reasons why we're pushing him, or pushing the Cobras. Up next, we got Ring Generals. All fairly self-explanatory. Good to see that Finley's in at number 5, though. Definitely good to see him in the Ring Generals. Who's hot? I mean, kind of just our main stars. One half of the tag team champions there in Yoshizawa as well. Who's not? Rokumon Matsushita is the only one who has little or no forward momentum. But he's also still currently out injured, I think. Yeah, chronic lower back pain. Let's actually have a little look at the medical here. So Yokikawa is coming back in 3 days. We've got Okamoto coming back in 13 days. Matsushita still out for the longest amount of time with 19. Shadow Ichimori, 8 days. Hanyu Toshisai, 5 days. And Yoshinaka Taku, 3 days. So, not too long. But unfortunately, once the beta does set in, as you can see, we're currently in week 1 of March. But I'm assuming we can't advance any further. That's perfectly fine. We actually can see our profit, though. And we made 35,000. So up about 4,000 from the month of January. So we're definitely making more money. Ticket sales, obviously the pay-per-view, I think, had a lot to do with that. Because our first pay-per-view, Heritage, only drew 1,800 people. And then Tag Mania drew 2,300. So that extra 500 attendance, I think, is what shot that up, the extra 4,000. Either way, pretty happy making 30,000 a month. We're getting close to 500k in the bank, which I think is a pretty good position to be in. The only thing I'm kind of upset about is if we go to broadcasters, if I can find it. There we go. Both of these deals run for 2 years, and this one's pretty bad. It's very small, All Japan TV. I kind of wish that we could get something better. But as you can see, 1 year and 10 months left of that. Shogun's not too bad, but I'd kind of like to be on Shogun TV for our tour highlights as well, because they are a small coverage company. So, although they are in the graveyard slot there for our events, whereas for All Japan we're currently in afternoon slot. So I don't know. It's interesting. Do we actually make any money from TV revenue? Looks like we don't. Now, I don't really know how that's possible. Yeah, that one's a little bit confusing. Because you would expect I would expect us to be making some money, because we are on commercial... We're on commercial stations. I wonder if we can... Let me go back in. Can we negotiate? Maybe adjust the time slot? Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to change. I'll go through all of them, but I really don't think Show going to give us any other time slot other than Graveyard. Well, they'll give us afternoon, which is definitely better than Graveyard. So yeah, there we go. We're now shown on afternoon, or in the afternoon, for our events as well. Maybe we should try and do the same. So can we go early evening? Okay, we can go early evening. What about evening? No. Late evening? No. Obviously not prime time either. I guess let's change it to evening. Or early evening, sorry. I mean, it puts the minimum quality up, but that's only up to 21, and that's only up to 38 for the pay-per-views, so we're definitely going to be doing that. It's very easy to do that. And it says 30% of the revenue generated from this deal is going to BCG. But we're not getting anything, or so it seems, from our broadcast revenue. As you can see, advertising, broadcaster, we're literally getting nothing. I mean, is that because we're not actually making any money on the actual station itself? Possibly. I don't know. Either way, hopefully that's something we'll find out in the future. Now, before we end the episode, just want to do a bit of a search through our perceptions here. So, major stars, Bunraku Kantori and Funakoshi, of course. My character, Yoshifusa Maeda, probably is how you say it properly. The owner of BCG. Also a major star. Should probably use him. He's got massive popularity. We do have the Yoshifusa Maeda Grand Prix coming up. I think after. Let me have a look here. Yeah, it's coming up straight after Fighting Spirit. So I think we'll use him quite a lot for that show. Maybe we can have him come out and announce every sort of group match for that specific tour-date show. Because we have 10 tour dates for the Grand Prix. And what I want is for him to come out and basically do exactly what I just mentioned to introduce. I think we want to have not G1. It is essentially the G1 Grand Prix, 2 Grand Prix matches for every tour show. Or maybe 4. Maybe 2 from every group. So I think I want to have groups of 6 is what I'm thinking at the moment. 2 groups of 6. Anyway, I've got to work that out myself. I might actually add some more tour dates to that tour. Bring it up to 12. Which I think would be perfect. Because then we could do 2 per night. Maybe. Interesting. Either way. We might just have all the shows on those cards be Grand Prix matches. That might be a better option. Either way. Moving on to the stars. Now we have Blaster Coma, which is really good. I'm happy to see him up there. Furusawa, which I kind of hoped that he would be into the major star category. And then finally, Reizan Okamoto, who is actually closer to major star than Furusawa. But yeah, pretty happy to see those 3 in there. A little bit disappointing Suki's not in here as well. But I'm assuming Suki's pretty close in the well-known category. So well-known, we've got Big Bruiser Finley. We've actually got Giant Brody in there as well now, which I think is pretty beneficial. He's actually going to be taking on Naozane Goto for the Challenger Series title at Fighting Spirit. So we'll get that booked in over the coming episodes as well. We've got Yoshizawa, we've got Marvel Malloy, we've got Noritishi Miura, of course, tag team champions with Yoshizawa. We've got Rokumon Masashita. We've got this guy who's our announcer with really good popularity, 50 pop. We then got Storm Spillane, of course, American Cobras with Marvel Malloy. Got Suki in there, only 33. Hanyu Toshasai, who I expect to push in the near future as well, up into the star category, along with Suki. And then finally, Yoshinaka Taku, who is quite over as well. Let's go down to recognizable. We've got Animal Haka, Dynamite Narahashi. We've actually got Kisaka. He's come up a bit. That's pretty interesting. I'm happy with that. Got to remember to put him in the stable. That's our referee, who's 6'7", apparently. We have a 6-7 ref. Alright, we've got Mitsukuri, we've got Kamasaka, we've got Kiyotaka, we've got Kinoshita as well. Urugataya. That's kind of surprising. Very low popularity, I guess. Shiga, who is a road agent. Mokami, who is a road agent as well. We then got Naozan Goto, Yokokawa. So we do have 2 referees. Wait, what? I'm so confused. We do actually have 2 referees. We have 2 referees. Why don't we use 2 referees on the show? Okay, really confusing. Either way, we've got Sotomura, Okamasa, Ozawa, Sajuru Sen, Toshinobu Taku, Ipitsutsai, and finally Matsuzawa. And then in the unimportant category, pretty much just all of our young lions, basically. Dreadnought, Osaka, James Diaz, Nobuyuki Kubo, Prowler Igarashi, Shadow Ichimori, Shuga Amano, Suguru Emoto, Takanori Doi, Wild Red Stallion, Yuta Osono, and Yataka Agata. Yeah. Pretty good. Happy with that. Alright, so stables. Let's jump into this and let's add... So modify this stable, and we want to chuck in Ginji Kasaka, and he's going to be, I guess, just a member. That kind of makes sense. So we'll save that. Ginji Kasaka now joining, or has joined the explosive stable as well. And apparently explosive is an important part of the BCG landscape, whereas import is not a major player, but is certainly a solid part of the company. Interesting. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up the episode, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. A little bit short, but a little bit more of an overview because we have come to the end of the public beta. Like I said, these episodes are not going to be able to recommence until the full release of the game, which I believe will be on the 14th of May. So make sure you check it out then. As soon as the full game drops, I'm going to have one of these episodes straight out. And we'll go back to maybe daily uploads, depending on what other series I do release in the meantime. Apart from that, guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you've liked the video, turn on the bell notifications, and as always, apart from that, take it easy, and goodbye.